right, welcome to the Dragon's Tome. This week I am your host, Chopper, and I
You
am
forgot your name?
joined. Well, I was taking a breath at the same time. So, dramatic pause. Dramatic pause again. And I'm joined with Rob and Jack, as always, the second sexiest men in the world. And here we are.
That's why we're not on the cover, because we're second.
Second. Well, they're really the first, but if you tell them they're the number one, they get really big heads.
We have a hard time getting hats as it is.
Very, very vain. You're so vain.
We're going to get taken off for copyright infringement.
There's no copyright there. Me and Carly have an agreement.
Explain that to YouTube's algorithm.
A relationship, so you say.
I think we can guess who did this cover.
Yes, this is definitely old Phil.
No, it's not. It's Larry Elmore.
I know, Larry Elmore. Because every time we think it's someone, we always say it's Phil, but this time it's Larry.
Larry Elmore signature is bold and in charge.
Well, it's also SnarfQuest, which is
my
thingy.
My question for Larry is: are we in the middle of watching Dukes of Hazzard reruns?
Yeah, you're saying that there's a Catherine Bach inspiration going on.
Catherine Bach's inspiration.
She's not wearing. She's not wearing Daisy Dukes though. She's wearing even less.
Well, you gotta throw your own flair in there. You know what I'm saying? There's a Bone Luke kind of vibe between these two guys, and you got the orange truck.
This is actually happening in the comic too, which is interesting.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, this is not just some random picture.
So, I mean, there's not much you can say against Larry Elmore. I mean,
they must have time traveled at some point, because didn't SnarfQuest start in like D&D, like medieval, like?
Yes and no. Snarf was an exile from his little fantasy village, and yes, but there was a spaceship crash.
That's right.
There was a lot of other stuff going on, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually they go onto the spaceship and they travel. So it started. Its roots were a bumbling idiot that everything he did, little Snarf, everything he did just worked out, and then everyone thought he was a hero because he bumbled his way into. And now they're looking at gold. That's not real gold because it was painted yellow.
There you go.
And it looks like there's killer kangaroos of some sort. Are they kangaroos?
Yeah, I don't know. Or are they kobolds?
I don't know. Anyways, it's a fun cover because you don't usually get non-fantasy covers on Dragon, so it's always fun to have a car.
Not anymore. We did for a while, and then we're back to it again.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a hot rod and robots.
Almost as though it was a prank of some sort.
It's true, because this is April 1988.
I don't find anything in this magazine funny, so it can't be.
Well, I have my questions. I'll be honest with you. But let's move on, and then let's find out if this is all juxtapositions and.
I have like 10 articles, so I'm ready to go.
Oof! All right, so then Jack, you get to start since we're going to have you avoid the shotgun effect.
Yeah, I would be hitting the crossfire of hundreds of articles being taken before me. If we could go for my first article to page 8 of the PDF.
All right.
Oh, this is one of mine.
This is one of mine too.
Well, it's because it's one of the best ones in here. Now, this is the Bizarre of the Bizarre, but it is a special edition, mainly because it is also April. It is not a traditional magic item for D&D. It's called the Chain Sword. And I bring it up because I had mentioned in the past, I didn't know if the Book of Wondrous Inventions, AC-11, was a real thing. I'm still not sure because this is a April Fool's edition.
Yep.
The article is...
we better go to Games Plus and find this and buy it for Jack if it's between 9 and 90. So
Oh God, no! I don't need anything more. But yes, it is a magical weapon that has been imbued with the power of movement along its cutting edge to make a chainsaw that gives you an extra d6 damage if you use it
against Trents.
Yeah, or treants. My thing is, it says chainsword is a joke, except for 40K says hold my beer. I'm gonna make it a real thing. Yeah. So,
well, that's what I wrote in my thing. I said, is this an April Fool's article, or has GW taken over Dragon with the increased UK stores and ads?
It's like
it is a silly trope, and I do think mocking it is the right thing to do. A chainsword is kind of like
ridiculous,
like a little try hard, but I don't know if even DW can lay claim to it. I think it's a kind of a nebulous. I've seen others ads in various games showing. So
who knows? Yeah. So that was my first one too.
All right. Well then, Rob, let's have you go to your one of many second articles.
Okay, I think it's on page 5. Yes, it's the editor masthead, because this one's for Jack. This one's errors, and it's pretty much this. They talk about all the errors that annoy Jack in the magazine, and he claims that they do it on purpose or that they just slip through. And yeah, and obviously they do a bunch of errors in the whole thing, but pretty much he's apologizing for all the errors that actually are in the magazine. This isn't just a joke; it is also true. So,
yes, there are jokes in it, but yes, he also explains. He doesn't explain how they happen.
No, he just says things get through sometimes. We read the magazine hundreds of times, and then they always slip through. It's like,
I don't understand how you can let that chart slip through the way it looked.
Wow, that's just laziness.
Or the masthead changing 3 times, and no one knew. No. Yeah. Someone eventually was looking at the latest edition and went, hey, this looks different. And going back on, who keeps changing this?
Yeah.
Like, it's
yeah, they mention a lot of errors that they've found in the past magazine that just nobody ever noticed. Even people never wrote in to say something, which, once again, you're not emailing. You're not going to write a message and say, why is this thing missing? You're just going to assume, oh, they fucked up, like always. So.
Yeah.
I would.
The bygone era where you were, there was just a certain amount of, okay, no one's perfect.
Yeah. Now it'd be
perfect.
Yeah. Now there'd be emails. How dare you spell errors wrong? It was a joke. No, you spelt it wrong. Oh, that's part of the. Oh, never mind then, I guess.
There's a whole clickbait subculture where you just spell one word in your title wrong because
on purpose,
even if what you're producing is garbage, you will get people to come in to tell you, "Oh, hey, you spelt that wrong."
Yep, it's
and
comments
or
comments. Yep, they count for more. Yep, they purposely do that. Yes. Yeah, that's my first article, and I have a lot, so let's get through these.
Okay, all right. So then let's go to mine, page 30.
30. All the trappings.
So this is a fairly long article on designing traps. This article starts out okay with the discussion between active and passive traps and how they differ. And then he leaps into the mechanisms of making each of those, and that's where he lost me. Just
like the minutia of how it works.
And then the type of lockings and trappings that you would need, counterweight balances and everything like that. This is why Grimtooth's books are on my shelves. Because I don't need to know the mechanism. I just need to know the trap.
Yeah.
I mean, I would akin this article if someone had written an article for thieves on how to pick a lock and then go through every lock and how it's built and how you make the tumblers fall into place.
Greg Sharp, not so much.
Yeah. Again, well, this was my other article, so I'm good. I'm tapped out. I might just let you guys continue on. I'll go into the basement and play foosball. But
I love foosball.
The worst part of this is that it kind of has like a miniature story that goes through it about this guy who didn't get paid and he was a trap maker, and then it's about one building that has traps in it. It's kind of an adventure. It is kind of all over the place, and I
wonder why there was a map of the Gray Griffin
Yeah,
Inn in the middle.
the story part kept losing me too. On top of the minutia of making the stuff.
And I think between you and me, and no one else is watching this, obviously, Greg Sharp had two really good ideas, and I think if he'd have done two articles, one about trap design and the psychology of it, and the other one kind of like, hey,
here's the story. Here's a one shot.
Oh, or maybe three articles, but another one that's kind of like, these are the specific mechanical things about it.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
He tried to do an ecology of traps, and like how Greenwood, where he did the whole story, and then he does all the minutia, but then he added in the whole adventure in the middle too. So.
Yeah, it was just a lot.
Much,
I mean,
too much.
I would, like again, if I need traps, I'm going to go to a book that probably has someone's already done it for me. So
yeah, interesting, but unless he's H.H. Holmes, maybe he's the current. This is not just. This is his manifesto. Maybe he's done this to his home.
Manifesto.
In his Airbnb, you can currently die. Look up Greg Sharp in the. Annals of Serial Killers, we'll see his name.
That's funny. All right, so well then,
he was played by Sean Bean, so you cannot complain. Like he's got some street cred,
and he did die.
If he was played by Sean Bean, then he did die.
Yeah, so that's good.
R.I.P.
Justice was served.
Canonically, yes, Mr. Sharp has passed.
Yes. All right, Rob, let's blow through all these articles. What do you got next?
Where we got? We got, let's go to page 62, maybe?
Oh, God.
King of Conventions. This is, they're supposedly doing a bunch of articles. This one's by Keith Polster, and it's all about the combo of the Gen Con Origins. And they're supposedly doing these articles to try to this is hype it up and stuff. But it's almost the exact same thing every time we read this. It's just more emphasis on minigames and they seem to be trying to revitalize the con. I wonder if either con was in trouble at this point. But it's just every time we have these articles, they're the exact same thing, and then they ask for people to come volunteer. It's almost like just a recruitment poster instead of an actual article. But they keep saying, we're putting out articles coming up to it. Stop putting the exact same article every time then.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, like I said, this is at the point where I stepped away and I stopped going to Gen Con for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious if... It seems to me that both or either of these cons were struggling at the time for some reason.
Well,
TSR was also going through some bad times at this point, so maybe that is also represented because they ran Gen Con up at this point.
We can ask Duck maybe next time we're there, when we're up there.
There you go.
And see what he says, how the state of Gen Con was.
Remembrances of 1988, yes. So that's another quick one.
All right, Jack, you're tapped, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to sing a song real quick?
Hello, my darling. Hello, my baby.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't sing. You know that. I know that.
Okay, that was his time.
It's a lie.
Now let's go back to my time, and we're going to page 48.
Hey, an ecology. Who would have guessed?
The ecology of the Arumvrax. This is another creature I didn't know too much about.
Oh, he's got his 6 legs.
Yeah, no, it's actually 8. He's an 8-legged feline.
I can only see 6 in the picture.
They're 8-legged feline. They are solitary creatures that mate every year. And what differentiates them from any other feline cat is that their diet consists of meat that supplements with precious metal, mainly gold.
Gold.
Yeah, so in order for them to survive as youngins, they need to eat gold with their meat.
That's a coincidence. Their name starts with AU.
Yeah, that's right, Arumvrax. Because of this, they're a fairly vicious cat in itself, and they don't die, but they get weaker and such if they don't get gold. But if they're little kids or little when they're felines or kittens, if they don't get a steady diet of metals, gold is what they want, but they can subside on other kind of precious metals. Uh, but because they eat a lot of the gold, they are immune to all poisons, and it makes their fur and their skins heavy and dense. So they have like a very high armor class. So
that makes sense. They're just hard.
Yeah, it's just the story is very nice. It talks about a.
So we'll give credit to Mark Field.
Yeah, Mike Field did a very good story about talking about a mage who was kind of kidnapped by a rival duke from his duke to talk about an Umbrax that he kind of quote unquote raised at the academy, and then
at the academy.
At the academy, and then basically the duke wants to know how to kill an Umbrax. Because there's one spotted in the northern part of his territory because he wants to go to his appreciation day by the king wearing a pelt of an Umbrax. Turns out that this Umbrax that he wants to kill was the Umbrax that he raised in the academy and became like his pet. So he fed him a bunch of lies, setting him up to die.
Well, spoilers.
Yeah. But it's a good story.
Fun. Umbrax.
Yeah. Umbrax.
Count your fingers after you pet it.
That's right. These things, they're fairly vicious, though, because, like they said, solitary, it's like an impervious bobcat. Or mountain lion. Wow. Okay, that's that ecology. What do you got there next, Rob?
We're going to go page 80. It's Rocket Raccoon.
You know what is weird is that we both have a lot of articles, and so far we haven't crossed over.
Well, just because Jack took all our articles, so we had to pick other ones. This is Rocket Raccoon, and it's all a joke. It's all like because they're talking about how Rocket hangs with all the Avengers and all this stuff, and I'm like, did this guy just predict the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because he's like, oh, just kidding. Rocket Raccoon never meet any of these people. Meanwhile,
this Rocket Raccoon looks like he is hopped up on the sea.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, so obviously, old Jim Ward here, or Jeff Grubb actually did this one. He obviously didn't realize what the future of Rocket Raccoon is because
it's true.
All the things he was joking about are now true. He's involved with every crossover. He's met Thanos. Like it's such a joke. So it's kind of fun. I always like it when they make jokes and then it turns out to be true. But it's true. It also has a bunch of the half animals in here and stuff like that, which is kind of fun. Walrus and Uncle Pico. And yeah. But Rocket Raccoon, back in the days, which it's kind of funny. I wonder at this time if he'd actually been in any real comics yet. Because he wasn't the... Guardians obviously wasn't around yet. That was
I was going to say when the Guardians came out. It came out
that
later,
one,
right?
That version of the Guardians was 2000s. There was the original Guardians before that.
Yeah, and I think they are out by now. The one with what's the big guy?
Oh yeah, like the original Guardians were definitely out, but Rocket Raccoon was not part of it. Yeah, with Vance Astro and Starhawk and the big guy, I can't remember his name either.
Hank.
And what's his name from the movies?
His name is Tad.
The Mohawk. What's his name?
Yondu.
Yondu is in it. Yeah. And anyways, Rocket Raccoon.
All right, Jack. Another song? No. All right, then let's move on to page 60 from my next article. This is a very quick article. It's a one-page article. Arcane Lore. Walk on the Wild Side. These are basically new spells for druids that give them, since they're animal-based kind of clerics in a sense, this gives them spells that give them animal defenses and attacks, which I thought was kind of cool.
Bear Hug.
It's a brave article, and I think the author's a star.
Well, it's just so funny because it's I don't know, Jack, but All
I
the
don't know.
almost
I
all of
don't
them
know
are
where it's
by
going with it.
all of them are done by Mike Rogers, except for one is Tom Hazel. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's just like, really, you could just said it's by Mike Rogers. Tom Hazel did
yeah.
one. Sorry.
Contributing editor Tom Hazel. So, but I thought it was kind of a cool idea. So I read through it and I was like, oh, you know, adds a
There,
little flavor to your druid, in a sense.
kind of a gamey flavor if he's a deer.
Yeah, almost gives you a kind of a Radagast the Brown, if you're a Lord of the Rings kind of guy.
With less shit. Bird
Yes,
shit.
stuff in your hair. All right, Rob, you got any more?
I got one more. It's going to be on page 88? Question mark.
Dragon Mirth? Yes.
Oh yeah, it's the nothing beats the taste of sprites, because there was a famous ad that's nothing beats the taste of Sprite, but he's eating sprites.
It's an ogre. It's an ogre eating.
He's eating sprites. Get it? Sprite, the drink, but there's sprites. Get it?
I get it.
Get it?
I wish they had done the 7-Up version when they used the bad guy from Live and Let Die. Coolest.
Oh, yeah, Baron Samdi.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't remember his real name.
Was that Yaphet Kodo?
No, Yapikoto was.
No, it was the other one.
Was it?
You'll never guess.
No, but I do apologize. I should know my
But we all know who he is. Who I'm talking about.
Yep.
And the 7-Up coolest. All right, for my last article, let's roll to page 76.
There's also a funny Dragon Mirth where it's a sign of all different places in hell, and he goes, "Where the hell are we?" That's pretty funny, because it's all the different layers of hell. What page was that, Pat?
76. This is for all my Star Frontier friends. If you're a big fan of Star Frontier's Nighthawks, this is a good article for you. This is actually the shipbuilding way how to create ships from scratch, based on point values and everything. So it's a nice little article if you play Nighthawks still.
Do you still play Nighthawks?
I would love to play Nighthawks more. I just need someone to play with.
Aww.
Yeah. So I give hats off to Mike Lane for putting something together like this. It's not overly complicated either. You pick your size of your hull, and that's how many points you get to spend on. So it's fairly simple and easy to put together.
I want some laser buttery. Oh, it's battery. Never mind.
No, it doesn't say buttery. It would be funnier if it said buttery.
I know. That's why I said it.
So, all right. Well, I guess that's it for the RT Clays. Jack, would you like to start with the odds?
Yeah, I suppose, because heaven forbid mine gets taken first in this draft of ads, and then I'm sitting here again quiet.
I don't have a lot of ads this time. I only have 2.
I have 1.
Oh. Okay, so then could we go to page 39, please?
I will say that I think next week's show is going to be probably record-breaking.
Cyborg Commando, the old classic Gary Gygax game.
Fate of the Earth, Metal Hands, a Cyborg Force.
It's the coming of the Steiner House.
This, we've seen some Cyborg Commando ads before, and the art, it had the like the insect bug adversaries, you'd say, and they were all right. This ad and this art, this was the way to go. This is, if they would have dropped this first, it's got just enough.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably a good idea.
It's got just enough to pique your interest.
Yeah,
but some some of the other stuff that from the other ads we've seen just wasn't.
Well,
the first ad was the cover of the main rule booklet.
Yeah.
If you can kind of picture it in that crappy.
Yeah, it's a guy standing on the hill shooting his cyborg stuff off. Yeah, but yeah, this game, as we said before, is the downfall of New Infinities, who was their hope that this would catch on huge, and it never did. So,
has anyone ever read that? I mean, was the game itself horrible, or was it just?
No, I think what
Was it
happened is
too crunchy, or-
their funding fell out, and then this was all they had left other than Gord the Rogue novels, and that was it.
But I meant the game itself. I mean,
I don't
no
think
one
it could have
really
been the
get
best
into
game
it?
on the planet. I don't think it would have worked because they needed a lot more money than this game could have provided.
Yeah.
They also
Well, I'm not
thought
saying-
they also thought Gygax's name would sell it more, which I guess back then before the internet, I don't think it did. Like it wasn't
No,
like
I mean,
you know.
he was. Let's be honest. He was on the way out when he was still doing D&D.
Well,
Like people were ready to move on. But I am curious if the game itself was not good.
Yes,
No idea.
yes, and I too, like I up until we started this,
You know, whether or not it's going to save them is irrelevant. I was curious if the game was good.
yeah, I'm not
Right.
sure.
because it could be one of those things. It was an unrefined mess, or it could have been, oh, this is a gem. This in a
Could have been
released at a
good.
different time
Yeah.
would have crushed the market. Like I
Yes.
have no idea.
I don't know. So if anyone's read it or played it, or let us know if you thought it was a decent game or not, because I am genuinely curious.
I just looked at the Wikipedia and how the game works. It's a 10x dice rolling mechanism. Determine the success or failure of a skill or challenge of combat. The player rolls 2 10-sided dice and then multiplies the result. So you have to do multiplication.
Oh,
Yeah.
so there'd be a
Multiply, well, like for like
So it would be between what 1 and
10 times 10.
10 times. No, so it'd be 2 to 100. But
No.
it never says multiply by what.
it says 1 is multiplied by the other.
Yeah, so it would be.
So
Oh.
you roll a 1 and a 1, it's a 2. It's a 1, right? 1 times 1 is 1. And then you roll
But
10
if
and
you
10,
roll
it's 100. So it's 1 to
That's
100.
10 times 10.
But
So like
instead of percentile, which would have done the exact same thing, for some reason they want you to multiply.
Huh. Again, I am a stupid man, and mathematics is not my forte. I can't see what the advantage of that system over
I'm not a-
percentiles is.
Percentile,
I'm
yeah.
not-
I would think it's
I'm not
exact
a-
same.
the person, all right, if you're a statistician,
Well, it would be a different curve,
who
I assume.
who knows how to break down the curves of all this, let us know what the difference is between this multiplication 10 by 10, 10
and
times 10 or a percentile.
And he said the lower the number, the better. So it is like percentile. You're trying to roll under, but weird.
Yeah.
Odd.
So, yeah, I don't.
I would think it's almost. You're rolling the same dice. I would think it's the same curve, right?
But you're multiplying
just don't
instead
get-
of just.
Yeah, but I mean,
just-
you're not getting the same results. You can't get as many results on 2.
But so
multiplying.
if you roll if you roll 2 10s, let's say you roll a 4 and a 5, percentile wise, that's 45%. If you multiply it, then it's 20%.
Yes.
So,
Not
And you wanna
percent.
roll low.
It's not percent. It's not
well,
percentages.
20 then.
Yeah.
The number is still lower.
But so my point is that the numbers ranges would be very different. But I think
So
in the
there
end it would be the
could-
same curve. Like that's my
Once
curiosity.
again, I don't know that though because I'm not a statistician, so I'm not even going to wager a guess that it's the same curve because
I don't know.
I
That's
don't.
not true.
I didn't
You-
study that.
You just put your foot down, you
Yeah.
rubbed our faces in it, and you said, and
But
now
then I'm backing off because I don't know. I may be right. I
Hit
may
I
that
be
may
wrong.
comment.
be wrong.
Me, Billy Joel may be right. It may be crazy. It just might be a lunatic you're looking for. So
that's true.
We're
That's
going
true.
to page 86 for my ad, by the way. Let's get out of here.
Oh,
It's the Book of Names. The only reason I bring this up is because we like anecdotes, and as a child, we used to before we went to sleep on an all-nighter, or like we'd eat lots of pizza and have a 2-liter of Coke each. We'd just lay there in the squalor of our friend's basement and try to think of names, funny names.
Squalor.
So we had a Name-a-nomicon. So this is the Book of Names. This one's probably a lot more serious than our Book of Names, but I just saw that and it reminded me.
When your names like Harry Balls and things like that.
Yep, or War and Peace, or like tons like that. Any kind of funny, what do they call it? It's a pun, I guess, technically. But yeah,
Do we cheat him and how?
no, that's not. Oh, Dewey, yeah, you're right. Yep, yeah, it's good.
Dewey Cheatham would probably be in there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Human.
Human. All right. Well, then
Human.
let's go to my article or ad.
You can write to us if you'd like a copy of the Necronomicon, because somebody
I
has it
wonder
somewhere.
if Charlie still has a copy of that.
I have a copy somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Send it to Jack because he would love to have it.
Jack has it too, I'm sure. Anyways,
Page 7.
7.
Star Trek ad.
Well, this is 8. Isn't this like?
I don't know what this is. What kind of ad is this? Is this for games? Is it for models? Why is Virgin Records involved?
Virgin Mega Mail Service.
But it's Virgin Records.
It's the same company.
Leaving this chart. Yeah. Why is Richard Branson involved in this? What's his angle?
He owns the game center, apparently.
I don't know, but it's unclear as to what we're selling. Is this a play-by-mail game? Is this a model? What is it?
No, I think it's a...
April 1st, right?
Yeah. Because it says you get a T-shirt with purchases, but it doesn't say what you're purchasing.
Yeah, and then you get a Mega Mail catalog.
Oh, it's Virgin Game Stores, because there's a bunch at the bottom is all the different store locations. So I guess you get a Star Trek shirt when you buy stuff at the game store.
It looks like, yeah, promotion. It gets people in the store. They're dealing with, obviously, Star Trek, is like the legitimate doing a Star Trek promotion. So,
these are all in England.
Yeah, but it also says only games offer available from Games Mega Mail.
Yeah.
So it must be mail order. It must be a mail order company.
I'm going to ask Ronnie because I just noticed that there is a Nottingham. There was a Nottingham store. I'm going to ask him, what the fuck is this Virgin Game Center?
Was it
Virgin?
How
would you get a cashier's signature or stamp on this?
You think you take this page in there and they stamp it,
and then you send this in for I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So would you go into the Mega thing? They would stamp this, and then you would mail it into Mega Mail catalog, and then
that's what I'm thinking.
Something?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is this is the most confusing ad I've ever seen in my life.
Well, especially
it's unclear.
If it wasn't Virgin, I would be like, okay, it's just some stupid thing, but it's actually Virgin. Like that's the weird thing.
What the hell is Richard Branson doing?
And it's not just coincidentally; it's the same as Virgin. It's spelt the same way. It's the same logo as Virgin.
It literally says Virgin Records right there. Is one of the stores.
Yeah.
There's all bunch of Virgin.
So they must have games in the Virgin Record stores. So it's kind of cool.
I don't know that Richard Branson. He's shady.
I think maybe he was a big fan of D&D. Maybe that's what it is.
Or some Star Trek, at least Star Trek, because this is Star Trek centered for sure.
Yeah, weird.
I think more billionaires should be like Richard Branson. There, I said it.
Come in to choose from our range of games, books, and videos. Sorry, no pajamas. What does that mean?
Well, then it also says Star Trek purchase lines will be marked in the store.
I don't understand. It's such a weird ad. It is a weird ad.
It is a weird ad. So
it's could you be more unclear in your ad? It's like purposely.
This is truly from the brain of Richard
what it is. Maybe it's like Jack was talking about with those people like commenting. Maybe you take this ad into the store and what the fuck does this mean? And then they're like, oh, you did this and you're in the store now. Might as well buy stuff.
Yeah, here, get the new, what is it, 1988?
Yep.
Get the new Bon Jovi album.
Yeah, so maybe it's just it's like a way to get people in the store by going, what the hell?
Here's Skid Row's debut album CD.
18 in Life? How about a T-shirt that has Scotty on it?
Yeah. 18 in Life. How about she can't take much more, Captain?
That's weird.
All right, Jack. Any chance you might have a second ad?
No. But we could still talk about Richard Branson's Virgin Empire and his.
I did use this airplane service for a while. They were pretty nice for a while, but then
good.
They got too expensive.
They started going to the moon. That's why.
Yeah. Rob, what's your next ad?
I don't have any more ads. I only had one ad.
Oh, I got one left, and let's go to page 91.
91.
I remember this one.
Crater!
I remember this this ad because of it is out already. We've already had an article about it. Yeah, but I remember that little flyer there with the two Space Marines sitting on it. So it was so silly, and I always remember seeing that model and being like, "That's silly."
Silly. But I like to just point out that 2 to 3 miniatures on this page have been erased from existence now.
Which two?
The Mole Mortar and the Tarantula.
Well, also the Beaky Marines are no longer existing either. So I guess in 30K they are.
But they still exist. They also make models because that's like the Mark II or Mark III armor. They didn't erase them. They just stopped making the line.
Oh, like literally.
these are erased from the rulebook. You can't even take these as options anymore.
Like they're not even
in the game.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why?
I have no idea.
GW does this. Shit. They just did that with Age of Sigmar. They got rid of like half their line.
They just erased 2 armies from Age of Sigmar.
I heard that people were losing their mind.
Well, I heard the explanation behind it, which is interesting. It was GW runs Forge World, or whatever it's called now, and their own company has 2 separate entities. So if one makes one, they can't have it in the other one, because then it would count towards Forge World's profits, not theirs. So they're like, screw you, we're not. If Forge World's making it, it's not going to be in this game then. And I think Age of Sigmar is a Forge World game, where the new fantasy miniatures line is the other one. So that's why they did it.
I think it's the other way around.
Whatever.
I think the old world is. Because Age of Sigmar is the one that replaced the old world, and they brought the old world back.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's 2 separate entities.
Corporate tomfoolery to maximize profits. That's
so they erased a couple armies because of that.
That people have spent hundreds of dollars on.
Oh, I would say more than hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Only it's not like it's the big.
No, this is the old ones, like the old school ones. So.
Yeah.
So Warhammer Fantasy
wasn't the scale.
No, but this is the old Warhammer Fantasy ones, though. That's the thing. There are armies from Warhammer Fantasy that people wanted to play the new version with, and they're not available anymore.
Yeah.
Would any of them port over to Kings of War?
Yes.
Would anyone
one of them is ogres.
Ogres.
Yeah.
That's one of Mantic's best lines.
What are you, a shill for Mantic? What are you doing over there?
What a shill. But here we go. I just like the thing about this is that 2 of the 3. We're going to show off our lovely miniatures, and then we're just going to take 2 of these and erase them from existence.
I recognize that
too. Well, because the second of all, the Mole Mortar was a squat option, and they don't even have squats anymore.
Yeah, there's no space dwarfs.
They call them Volturnus or whatever now, but this is what the squats used to look like.
Fidel Castro.
Yeah, Fidel Castro and his brother.
I definitely recognize that tarantula. I think it might have come into our possession at some point for some reason.
So
that's as stock like sci-fi autonomous gun system as you can get. Like, well, it looks like the stock times 2, but that looks very much like what you'd expect. You getting what's on the tin.
I will say the Mole Mortar was like one of my favorite weapons too in the back.
So you got some angst about all this. Let's see.
A little bit, because it's basically a mortar that shoots underground instead of above ground.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Because it's a space dwarf weapon.
I thought it was just a regular mortar. That makes even less sense.
But they called the teams mole teams, like you'd call like a tunnel rat or something like that. Like it was but a mole mortar shoots underground.
Does a tarantula shoot tarantulas?
No, it shoots. I think it might. I think it did have an anti-air option for.
That was comedy gold, but you got to save your voice, Rob.
All right. Well, I guess then that is issue 132. Wrapping it up.
If you hate GW, also please comment below.
Well,
or if you love them and you want to hate us, please comment below.
Yeah, or you just not. So I don't hate GW in a sense, but I'm not surprised by anything they do anymore.
I hate corporations. How's that?
Yeah.
But we love Virgin, so like it. We don't know. We're our hypocrisy knows no bounds.
I just think that their growth is better. That's all.
There's the great debate that GW went teats up when it went public. So.
Oh yeah, I think that's from what we're seeing at this point. GW seems fun and like all the nostalgia I have for it, but then when it goes public, it's just like like any public company, it's all about the bottom line. So.
Yeah, well, who's to say? I guess at this point, but
we are.
Yeah, well, here we are, 132, finishing it up, wrapped up. This one was a good one. Next week is going to be a very bad one for me because I could not find a damn thing in that one.
We'll see. It could be a record short one.
You guys, I hope you are good at carrying dead weight because that's me.
I'll be like this the whole time.
You must just call an ambulance stretcher because I'm going to be on the ground just dead weight.
We're gonna be doing a weekend at Bernie's situation.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay.
All right. Well, for the Dragon's Tome this week, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Jack.
I'm Rob. Comment
Like,
below.
share, and subscribe. Comment below, and we will see you guys again next week. Fade to black.
Sayonara.
Ooh.